About now.
Oh, that's good.
All right. I hadn't downloaded it to that phone.
Well, that's
So
exciting about today.
yeah, absolutely.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Um, this is your first 5 stage.
First one in a year and a half.
Okay. So you used to sell them.
I sold one. I sold I was selling the crossovers for a while because until Reedy set me straight.
Okay.
Yeah.
You thought they were almost as good, and now you found out they're not.
Yeah, my understanding was they're just as good. Only thing they can't do um is zones and hybrids,
And
but
reheat.
and reheat. Am I sideways now?
You turned sideways. Yeah. Oh, now you're sideways the other way. Turn it again.
There's this thing doing. That's weird. Let's see if I can straighten that out. That's wrong here.
Wow. Jump out and jump back in.
So let's see if there's a way to rotate it. Huh,
There you
there
go.
you go. I don't know what I did though. All right, so yeah, so we start from the beginning.
Yes,
All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, so call the lady on the way over there. Usually call 30 minutes before we go to the call. Our office doesn't give a whole lot of information as far as what to expect, but I asked her that I told her I was going to need about 60 minutes. Is that going to be okay? And she said, sure, no problem.
Okay.
So,
And,
so
and and just to set this up, you didn't have her email, but you had texted her the what to expect information.
right. I texted her the survey link and asked her to
Fill it
to
out.
uh, fill out the comfort quiz, and
Okay.
she responded and said yes, she will, and she did. And I got that email last night, and then I texted her the one question: if
Okay.
there's anything you is there anything you wish the new unit could do that the old unit couldn't do? But she never responded to that text.
Okay.
And so then I showed up over there today, parked in the driveway because there was nowhere to park on the street, rang the doorbell, and she opened the door. I asked her if where I parked was okay. And she said yes. And then I said, may I come in? She said yes. May I put on my booties? She said yes. I said, is there somewhere where we can sit down to talk for a few minutes? She said, yes, sure. Come over here. And on the way, saw a Christmas tree, asked her if she's ready for Christmas. She said her grandkids only one's going to get anything this year. I said,
Because of the furnace.
because of the furnace. And so I asked her about her grandkids. She had four of them. She was telling me all about them, their ages. I asked her, I said, so you must be very proud. And she said, yes, I am. And once you could tell that the warm up was over with and she was ready to just start talking about business, I asked her, what brings me out today? And she said, well, my furnace quit working. She said that it quit working and she had her regular service company come out to look at it. She thought they fixed it, but all they did was turn off the gas and left the blower wheel running. I told her that she needed a new unit. And then I asked her if they gave her a price, and she said they did. I said, okay, great. Did they give you a specification for me to bid to? And she said, what do you mean specification? I said, well, like the size unit that you want, the how many stages, what level of air quality you would want, what filtration you want, things like that. Oh no, they didn't give me anything like that. So, so wonder why they didn't give you anything like that. She said, well, I'm not real sure. I said, well, were they, how long have you been doing business with them? She said, well, I've been using them for service a long time, but they're always seem like they're trying to sell me something every time they come out. I said, again, I wonder why they didn't give you a specification for other people to bid to, since they knew you were going to be getting quotes. She said, I don't think they were really here to help me. I think they're really just trying to sell me stuff.
I don't think they're really here to help me. I think you need to take her along with you as a, assistant, because that's a beautiful statement. I don't think they were here to help me. Maybe we should put that in there somewhere. Do you feel like they were here to help you? Or just to sell you something?
Right. And she clearly did not think they were there to help. They were there to sell. So how'd you hear about me? She said that her son was looking around on the internet and saw our company, saw our reviews, and thought she should give us a call. So she did. I said, well, fantastic. Where's your son? She said, well, he's getting ready to be here in a minute. She's bringing the grandchildren by. I said, okay, great. And so we did a little bit more talking about her grandchildren and Christmas, and I showed her my son just graduated from Clemson, and he's a Marine. Showed her those pictures, and she just went into a big spiel about how she was in the military, and this is great, and he's an officer in the military, and she was giving me all this advice about the military, nice. And being a military brand.
So she was a nice lady.
Very nice, very nice. And then her son shows up, introduced myself to him. We kind of rehashed what we had talked about and what we had done. We talked about the fact that I sent her this comfort survey, and if you had a few minutes, let's go over this together, so you know exactly what your mother's concerned about and considering. Okay. And my job, my company has a process where we can build her a specification for her to bid, so I can bid to that. Get bids, so I can bid to that specification. And she, and then so we went over her comfort score. She had low comfort scores, and
she might have been fibbing though.
Yeah, so really, before I even went over the score, I opened it up, and I said, I meant to ask you if I'd sent you the text. Maybe you didn't see it, but I wanted to ask you, if there's anything that this new system. Is there anything you wish this new system could do that the old system didn't do? She said, the temperatures are always real uneven upstairs from downstairs. It's always hot and cold. And the bonus room over the garage, it's always miserable in there. So if there's anything if the new system could fix that, that would be great. I said, okay, sure. Let's take a look at these comfort scores. I said, now you said it wasn't really much of a problem in the summertime versus the wintertime. She said, well, in the summertime, that's because we open up the windows upstairs to bring in cool air at night and get some fresh air in there. And I said, okay, so it's not a problem because
she likes fresh air.
Right. She likes fresh air. So I said, so it's not a problem because you're making other arrangements. She said, that's right. So really, if you could find a piece of equipment that would fix some of those other problems, that would be important too. Yes, it would. Okay. So, all right, then we moved on to the next one, the one that she had the highest on, which was really only about a 3, but,
her total score was under 10.
Right. It was under 10. And, she was saying that talking about health, and I said, well, is there anybody with allergies? She said, yeah, my son has allergies and he has asthma. And then
the son that you were there with
was there with, and he and I said, what about the grandchildren? Yeah, they've got allergy. I said, is there any concern that they may develop asthma? Yeah, I am concerned about that. So I would like to, give them That's why we leave the fan open, make sure they have some fresh air. So I said, okay. And then her son was like participating too. He was like, I mean, don't forget, Mommy, that it's like every summer when I come to stay with you, that my asthma acts up over here. And
Oh, so it could be related to the house.
right. And so I said, well, do we need to move this comfort score, a little further, a little different? She's like, no, I'm trying to keep that score under a 12.
I like this lady. She's funny.
So I said, oh, so you're talking about the comfort consult. Now, the comfort consult is something we can always do later. We don't have to
You
do
don't
that right
have to
now.
do that just because you got a 13.
Right, right. So anyway, and then I said, well, I want you to the both of you look at the video. She'd already told me that she didn't look at the videos, but then and I said, let's look at the videos, and she said, well, he needs to watch it because I've already seen it, but I'll watch it again. So anyway, yeah. So
It's all the thing's working. Free
right.
quote's working.
I said, but before I do that, I want you to watch this video about the duct pressure test, and we charge $25 for that. And she got out her credit card before I could even ask her if she wanted to do it. And
Gosh.
yeah. So anyway, so I said, well, I'm going to go test your duct while y'all are watching this, and then because so I got off the program a little bit, but I went up there and tested the duct pressure, took some pictures, and I opened up the blower compartment and was able to see all the soot and filter failure inside the blower compartment.
Okay.
And the pan had water in it, so who knows how long that's been in there.
Probably a failed heat exchanger. Then they weren't lying.
Right. Okay. Well, but it was 80% efficient furnace. So I don't know why there'd be water unless it was been up there all summer. I mean, it was really rusted. So, they didn't even vacuum it out for when they did the maintenance.
Oh, right.
But anyway, so I took pictures of all that and took pictures of a crimped return duct and measured the line set and the equipment. And then, went back down, they watched the video, and then I opened up the picture. So I downloaded the pictures to the iPad, and I said, okay, so, and then I printed off the six functions of an air conditioner, or
what that one thing that says the 6 functions all in one slide.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So I printed that off, and I had that in like a sleeve, and so
some people actually have laminated these booklets of the HVAC 101 chapter, and they'll actually leave those for people to finger through while they go. So you might want to think about that too.
Absolutely. That is something I've already considered, because some of it didn't load as quickly as I'd like when I was trying to show some of it. So anyway, had that printed off. I said, explained it to her, again, and I actually used your analogy that you gave me, a great idea about the water faucet is, because we were in the kitchen.
Oh,
I was
you asked her for permission?
Asked for permission if I could go to the sink for a second and explain this a different way. And I said, right now, what you have is single stage. So it's either on or it's off. And I showed that with the faucet. I said, now they also make a 2-stage. So 2-stage is something full or off or in the middle, or not even really in the middle, maybe
70%.
2/3.
Yeah.
70% are off. 2/3 are off is what I said. And then I said, then there's 5 stages, got 5 different speeds. And then there's full variable speed. You can put this anywhere you want it. So that's what load matching is about, because the equipment has a load and then your house has a load. And you want to get those two to match as closely as possible. Now, I can go ahead and tell you, I haven't even looked at the air conditioner yet. We're going to walk out there in a minute, but I can tell you right now, your furnace is oversized because it's a 70,000 BTU furnace and you have a cracked heat exchanger. But I'm going to show you
which
that.
is which is something that happens when equipment's oversized because it overheats.
Right. And so then I said, now we have I said, did any other company help you come up with a load for your home? And she said, no, I hadn't heard anything like that before. I said, well, okay. I said, well, we have a program. It's called likely load range. Your home is gonna be in that range, and it's 90% accurate for homes of this size to be within this range.
So that should be more like 90% of the homes are within this range.
Okay.
So not 90% accurate. It's 90%. Like the real bad homes aren't in here and the real good homes aren't in here. But the good homes to the bad homes are in here that are your size.
Fair enough.
And so if you think you got a good home, you certainly don't want to oversize your equipment as if you had a bad home. But right now you're not even in that range. You're like horrible home range.
So then the next one is filtration. So I asked her, I said, how often you change your filters? She says every 3 months. And I said, and how many filters do you have? She said 3, because she changes them at the filter grill. I said, is that, and they're in the ceiling. I said, is that difficult to change? Oh yeah, I have this bum leg and I'm really scared to death to do it.
Okay.
And I said, does your son ever help you
have it in the attic?
Well, then I said, well, I actually pulled up the picture of her unit. Then I explained the unit. This is the furnace. This is the evaporator coil. I said, in the furnace, you have the blower, and then you have the burner, and I kind of draw this out and pointing to it on the iPad. And then I show her the heat exchanger, or where the heat exchanger is. And this is the part that's cracked. Then I also show her the pan, and this got the water in it. I said, they didn't vacuum the water out of that pan. I wonder why they didn't do that. She said, that company, they're just not ever doing anything good for me. They're not here to help me.
Okay. Wow. She repeated that.
Repeated it. And then, so anyway, I said, okay, here's I showed the picture of the open blower compartment, and it had dust and growth and stuff all in it. I said, this is filtration failure, where the dust bypassed to the filter, or maybe I have no idea, but maybe your ducts are
leaky between your filter grill and the furnace.
Right. So a better way of doing that is to put in a filter rack with a 4-inch media filter, and that's what they're talking about in the video, is better quality filtration. So this not only protects the equipment from getting this growth and debris inside of it, but it also protects you in your home. It is
lasts longer.
It's going to make it last longer, but it's going to also
lower pressure.
Lower pressure, and it's constantly going to be filtering the air. And so then we went to the dehumidification part, and and I said, these newer units,
the good ones,
not the, now they have the one like what you have right now, they actually don't do as good a job as the one you have now. But the better units will do an even better job of dehumidifying the house to remove moisture from the house in the summertime. And that's going to give you better indoor air quality and protect the home.
Yeah, protect the home.
And give you better comfort overall. And I said, then we moved to the next one, where it was it's not mixing. What's the next one on the list there? It's the
the 6 functions.
Yeah, the 6 functions. We got the load matching. We've got the filtration, then we got the dehumidification, And then we have,
Mixing, which is also kind of load matching.
right,
And then it's equipment stuff.
right. One of them is a humidifier, and the other one is fresh air. Fresh air. So the fresh air is the one that she attached to the most. As soon as I brought up the fresh air scuttle and how that works, she said, "Oh, that makes perfect sense." And then I explained that third party story that customers are saying that that they sleep better at night because we're able to bring in fresh air, because we have CO2 in the house, and it gets heavy. She already told me that she's going to have like 7 people spending the night over there over Christmas.
Okay.
So we were talking about CO2 levels in there. And I said, the fresh air is going to bring in, it's going to protect your home from the VOCs. We talked about VOCs and how they
Spike when the relative humidity goes above 55.
Right. And how how they're going to sleep better at night. And so she was all over that. Her son said that he had never heard of anything like that before, and that it makes perfect sense. And that's why when he comes over there, he sleeps with a fan in the window because he wants some fresh air. And I said, well, this way you can control it, and it's actually controlled by a dial where we can control the temperature and the humidity. That way we can, if it's raining outside, you don't have to let it come in. If it's really humid outside, we can control it. And if we need to add a little bit more, a little bit less, we can dial it in for you. And I also told her that I'm gonna, we're not one and done. I'm gonna keep coming out here and pestering you over the next year. We got 3 different times I'm coming by, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and a year, because I want to know exactly that this unit did exactly what it said it was going to do, and
get referrals from you.
Get referrals. And so she was all over that. And then we talked about the mixing, and that's where I explained that hot air rises, and if we can keep the air moving all the time, it's going to mix better. And depending on which equipment you choose, it's really going to blend the air all the time. The load's going to be good, and it's going to always be moving the air. And she said that unit sounds expensive. I said, well, this is your decision to make. You can choose whichever equipment you put in for you and your family, whatever is best for you. I just want to show you your options. Did any other company show you anything like that? And she said, no, they didn't show me anything like that. And then the son's like, well, no, they did include some options on some better equipment, but they must not have talked about it very much. And then, so then we went through some more of the pictures, just to explain it. Then I went out and took a picture of the breaker box and then the outdoor unit to get the sizing. And then I came back in, and then I explained the load range. So then I said, so you're here, you're 3 tons, you're on the outside of the load range, because your range is in between, I think it was like 2 or 2.5 tons to 3 to less than 3. And she was outside that. And then on the heat, it was, pegged down the outside because she had a 70,000 BTU and she only needs 40. And so the furnace way oversized. And she was like, well, before you got here, I was thinking I needed a bigger unit. And I said, why do you think you need a bigger unit? She said, well, just because I hadn't been very comfortable, upstairs, downstairs. I thought it was because that unit wasn't big enough. And I said, really, you can pick whatever size you want, but we found that the folks that pick the smaller units, even going down a size, find that they're even more comfortable. And so then she said,
going back to the faucet, do you want it to run all the time, or do you want it to satisfy the thermostat and shut off before those far rooms get comfortable?
Right. So then she said, so then we started looking at the smiley faces. And so we looked at the single stage, and so I need to work on the template some more.
Okay.
But
What was challenging in the single stage template?
so we had the single stage. I had that part right, but I probably should have put another option in there just so it would compare to what other people are offering. Because I had uh, another heat pump, just a full heat pump in there, but she wasn't interested in that a full heat pump because she's scared of a heat pump. But then I started explaining the hybrids
Okay.
and how that customers will. I said I want you to use this for a couple weeks. If you decide to get one of these, I want you to use it for a couple weeks or a month and see how you like it. And if you don't like it, we can just use just the furnace only. I said, but my customers have found that if they run the heat pump, they like it better than the furnace.
So she didn't go with a straight heat pump.
No, she didn't go with a straight heat pump.
You
So,
explained to her that she's not getting the reheat dehumidification.
I didn't do a very good job about that, and I probably didn't.
Okay.
I don't even think I brought it up.
Does she have room on her panel for a heat pump?
No, we would have had to run new electrical up there. So I mean, she told me she didn't want a heat pump, so I was going in the hybrid direction. I should have brought it up, but I did not mention the reheat, dehumidification to her.
Look, it's your first time. This is pretty awesome.
Yep.
So, and she expressed, why was she worried about the heat pump?
Well, because I find that pretty common in the Charlotte market. A lot of people grew up with heat pumps, and the heat pumps around here, I had one too.
Wrong. Yeah.
It was cold air. It was 90-degree air blowing out, and it was freezing.
They're set up all wrong. That's not the heat pump's fault. A lot of people have heat pumps in Rochester. It's a heck of a lot colder than Charlotte. It's all bad install.
Right. So that was what that was, and then the son said, "Yeah, I think we should do go the hybrid route because that'll help us qualify for the tax credit."
Oh, well, that's true.
Yep. And so so he brought that up, and then and I actually had asked him that in the survey in the beginning,
right? Of course, it's in there.
Yep. So I did ask him about that if they were expecting anything else, and they mentioned that, and I said, I said, the Duke Power offers a rebate too locally, and I said, anybody else mentioned that? And she said, no, nobody mentioned that. So, wonder why they didn't mention that.
You keep doing that.
Yeah.
She didn't catch on to the fact that you were doing that, or she's just like watching for the hidden camera set, because I don't think that they care about me.
Yeah. Yeah. But so we were laughing about it, but she knew that nobody else had spent the time to explain it to her, and then she gravitated to the 5-stage, and the son was
saying, that's an
80%
furnace up in her attic. So the nice thing about the Carrier is they got an Infinity on an 80%, or a lot of these. I don't know that many of these other companies have their top end equipment on 80%ers anymore, do they?
I don't know. I'm not familiar with any for sure. I mean, the Sun piped up, so that's a lot more expensive than the other ones.
Yeah, right.
And then he said, right. I said,
which smiley faces are you willing to go without?
So then we talked about the installation. They definitely wanted the fresh air. They definitely wanted the filtration, and it had a price range in there, like $2,000-$3,000. So I said, "Is this the package you want?"
Me to bid to. You want me to bid to this package?
Right? Is this the package you want me to bid to? And so then I said, well, I can email this to you, but if you're ready to move forward, you can go ahead and price this out while you're here. while I'm here. And, oh yeah, I'd like for you to price it out while you're here. And so I said, okay, if I price it
Don't you
out,
want to get more bids?
okay, that's a good thing to say.
Well, you really want me to do my pricing right now? Don't you want to get more bids first? I really, I did all this work for you. I'd like to be last.
That's good. Yeah, I just said,
I'll leave you this report so you can go get bids. I'd like to be last because I'd like to see what everybody else is doing if I don't get the work. So you give me all those bids, right? So I can look at what the competition is all doing. At least I'll learn something if I don't earn your business.
it's good. What I said was, okay, well, when I price this out, I'm going to ask you for the order. Now you can tell me no, and I promise I won't let the air out of your tires on the way out. And she laughed. I said, but you can also tell me yes. So then I filled out the price, or pulled out the iPad, downloaded the pricing, put together the package. It worked out to be just under $19,000, which was actually less than I priced conditioner for with the smiley faces.
With the range, you'd hope that would happen.
Yeah. And
at least it better not be more.
Right. And so when the job's finished and you're 100% satisfied with the work, would you be in a position to write a check for this, or would you like to take advantage of one of our monthly investment options? And she said, oh, well, I've already got a loan. I'll just write you a check. So, okay, well, welcome to the family. Stuck my hand out. So, what day would you like to get this installed? She said, what day can you do it? So we looked at the calendar, put it on the calendar for Monday. And then I asked her son, and I said, your mom just spent $19,000. Are you okay with the what
she did?
With what she did? He said, she's a grown woman. She's going to get what she wants anyway.
She's a matriarch of that family. Good families have good matriarchs.
So, then in the post close, asked her, I said, what made you decide to do business? Or no, I did it different this time because I'm trying to think of it differently now that I'm learning the Sandler. But, I said, what made you decide to pick the package that you picked? I said, well, I wanted those smiley faces.
That's a good question. What made you decide the packages that you picked?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what, yeah. And then she said, well, I wanted those smiley faces. That's exactly what she said. And then,
my God, we're going to have to send this video to Nate.
Yeah. And so then, and then I asked him, I said, what made you decide to do business with us tonight? And he said that, well, you explained it very well. I mean, you are more expensive than everybody else, but I feel like we're getting
she
a
doesn't
better
know
value.
that yet because she didn't do apples to apples, did she?
That's right. That's true. So he was like trying to remember if somebody had quoted anything higher than a 2-stage and stuff like that. But anyway,
definitely no other hybrids.
Right.
And your electric rates are low, so I bet that heat pump carries all the time. She have any other gas appliances?
She did. She had a gas water heater, and she just had it replaced.
Okay. And does she have there's a meter fee?
Yeah.
How do you know how much the meter fee is?
I don't know. That's something I have to check in. I saw that y'all were showing people that they can save on meter fee.
Do you know? Do you know? You told me the other day, I think, that electricity is around 13 cents a kilowatt.
Yeah, I think it's like in Charlotte, it's actually less expensive than Rock Hill because Rock Hill's on a co-op. So I'm at 12 and a half or 13. But I think they're 11 and a half.
Okay. And then do you have an idea how much gas is a therm?
I don't, because I don't live in Charlotte.
So
I don't.
if
I don't
if
even know
you're
what
at
it is.
around 11 cents, so this is stupid math. It's rule of thumb. It's is about as accurate as blindfolding and then pulling an arrow. But at 11 cents, you multiply that by 10, you get $1.10. If gas is around $1.10 a therm, it's a little cheaper to run that heat pump in your climate, and it's probably price parity in mine.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing that, if there's a meter fee, you can actually save people money by switching them over to a heat pump, given those
Right.
rates.
Right.
And one of the
I'll
things
find
that
out the
we're
rate.
assuming is that gas and electricity are going to decouple, because
Mm-hmm.
we're exporting gas now, and electricity is a thing that people can self-produce.
Yeah.
And it makes sense to produce it yourself once you get over about 18 cents. So gas can go up. If it goes up to $1.80, if it goes anything above $1.80, electricity really can't go above 18 cents, or you may as well buy solar.
Right. Got it.
So there's a decoupling function in there that's going to force electric companies to keep their prices below a certain level.
Mm-hmm.
And now with Cybertruck working as a battery, it's gonna start throwing all kinds of wrenches into these electric companies. I mean, Ronnie's talking about charging his cars at a certain time of the day so that he could be using his solar panels instead of buying it back from. Oh no, I don't charge my cars at night. I charge them during the day. Oh, yeah. If I charge them at night, I'm buying back energy I produced.
Mm.
Something like that. I don't know what his plan is, but it's some kind of and we're going to see less and less net metering. More and more people, they're going to get paid for what the electricity is worth.
Right.
Not forced to be paid what some bureaucrat wants,
Right.
residential customers to be. There's a lot of sort of financial unfairness in solar. People who can afford solar are getting a better deal than people who can't, because net metering is not a market. It's not a fair market.
So there's another thing that she asked me about. I didn't know the answer to. We were talking about the mixing and leaving the fan on, and it's going to be on low speed. She was concerned about that running up her power bill.
Yeah. Well, so if she has duct leakage outdoors, that could run her power bill up noticeably. If she doesn't have duct leakage outdoors and we have low static pressure, it's like 3 LED light bulbs.
And the only way we'll know if we has leakage outdoors is to do a test.
Yeah, or see if she gets high bills.
Right.
If you get high bills, we need to do some testing on the house.
Right.
The bills should be low because now you got much more efficient equipment than you had before.
Right.
The issue of the reheat dehumidification needs to be made clear that you only get that with a heat pump, because the reheat is the backup heat. It's
right.
the heat strips.
Today I didn't even bring it up. I forgot about it.
No, that's okay. And I'm just re-emphasizing it now because you don't want to miss it.
Right.
I mean, this situation, you got her to do a heat pump. She wanted an air conditioner.
Right.
So you sold a heat pump. Congratulations. That's really what, one of the side effects of this is we want to be selling heat pumps.
Mm-hmm.
People are happier when the heat pump's running than when the furnace is running. And so we want happier clients. Plus it gives them more financial options, because if gas does go to $1.80 or $2, she's absolutely going to be running that heat pump, and she's going to be really glad she has that option.
Right. Yeah. So a couple things I thought of was,
and that house has good solar exposure, so she could always put solar on that roof.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, and she, she did say that she planned to be there for a while.
She's heels first on that place. It's a cute house.
Yeah.
It swallows her grandkids.
I mean, a couple things I thought of in the middle of it was if we had a survey to send out, how did your HVAC20 representative do? Did he answer your questions and have stars? Just a quick little thing to fill out, send back, and I could tell her that, hey, they might send a survey. Hope you have some good things to say about me. Just something like that. I don't know if that would be good or bad, but that was a thought I had. And then the follow-up emails where I could tell her what we told her and what they bought exactly. I mean, I sent her the
report.
Well, I didn't send the report, but yet, I mean, I printed we downloaded the report. I need to clean it up a little bit, make sure everything's added in there before I send it to her. But
I would do in your templates, I would do hybrid and heat pump. Right. So that you can have a little bit like flatlined on the dehumidification on the hybrid.
Right.
And that way that allows, if this is not a frowny face, because that 5-stage is going to dehumidify. I mean, it's going to run all the time, so it'll be dehumidifying all the time. It's good piece of equipment. She's going to, right? So,
right.
But those shoulder seasons when there's not any load, she's not going to have a smiley face during those shoulder seasons, so that should be a flat face, I think.
I gotcha. On dehumidification.
So the only one that gets all the smiley faces is the 5-stage or the green speed, way off on the right.
Okay.
Which in some cases you might be able to sell cheaper than a hybrid, right?
The 5-stage and the full variable? Or
yeah,
no?
Both of those. I think I'm pretty agnostic about that. I mean, I think the 5-stage goes down to like 2 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
And the green speed's good to 20 below.
Okay.
I mean, what's your design temperature? 19?
I think it's 23.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Yeah. And, but yeah, having the email follow up to explain what we had talked about, because I can see how customers get confused about what we talked about for sure.
It's a lot.
Because
brand new to them, and nobody else talked to them about it.
Because the son actually said, well, the other company was going to put in a he was trying to remember what it was called, and then he said it was an iWave,
Remy Halo or some. Oh my God! Of course, this will make these things take away cancer.
Right. And I said, well, what do you think about that? I said, I've got an opinion, but I gotta be careful what I say. What do you think about it? And he said, I think it doesn't work. I said, I think you're right.
Fresh air, baby. Fresh,
we don't recommend
dehumidified air.
I don't recommend it. I said, that's what that fresh air scuttle's for. And then we talked about the VOCs again at that point. And, it was all about it.
Neat. All right. So I'm going to post this on our channel and make it public.
All right.
All right. Let me click and